We begin tonight with our top story out of Parkersburg. The West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals has ruled in favor of firefighters who claimed the city of Parkersburg unjustly docked their pay, but the firefighters' attorney says the fight isn't over yet. Parkersburg firefighters are celebrating a 9-year legal victory after the state's highest court ruled the city illegally cut their pay. The court sided with current and former members of the Parkersburg Fire Department, finding the city violated the law when it reduced longevity and EMT certification pay in 2017 without giving workers notice. The city had argued it was simply correcting a years-long miscalculation. The court disagreed, ruling 4-1 in the firefighters' favor. The case now returns to Wood County Circuit Court for damage calculations. Because some of the plaintiffs have since retired, that process could be complicated, according to attorney Walt Allville, who represented the firefighters.
9 years later, here we are with a big issue that still has to be resolved, because the firefighter pay for all of these firefighters has to be calculated over this past 9-year period where it's been done incorrectly. Then the retirement has to be fixed. And that is, a lot.
Allville says he has not yet heard from the city about next steps. Parkersburg Mayor Tom Joyce has not responded to a request for comment.